Greetings, friend. How are you doing today? I have a couple questions for you. First question: have you ever been on the beach where there are sands, but also there are rocks? And the second questions I have for you: have you ever been in a situation where perhaps you have the best intention and you know that you are correct, but there are people antagonizing you, people telling you that you are wrong, or perhaps even telling you that you are malintended. What do you do in that scenario? This week, you and I are sharing on how to turn your uniqueness or something that you are different into a gift, into something that empower you and bring great result and peace of mind and joy for you. And the third key of being able to do that is to actually be a rock on the sand. If you ever been on a beach where there are rocks and then there are sand, and you sit there and you keep paying attention, like the water's washing, the waves washing over, you see that the sand's shifting over time, right? But the rock, even just a small one, doesn't have to be huge, giant rock. Even just a smaller rock, they usually stay put, even as the waves of life, because we all have waves of life, you and I, washing over, the sand got shifted around. But if you be your rock, then you stay true, and and that is something you absolutely need to do to be able to bring, to create a gift, to create a wonderful gift from your uniqueness that might be at some point to other people and maybe even to you look like something that's not desirable, look like an adversity or something. And to have an unwavering faith that what it is that you are doing and what it is that you are believing and what it is that you are endeavoring is something that is true to you. And so it doesn't really matter what other people says. When I was thinking about sharing this, it's an experience, my own experience came to mind actually. Some of you know that my background is in veterinary medicine, veterinary oncology. And I recall that there's a time when I was actually new in this practice, in the practice. And so have you ever had this happen to you? You are the newbie in the group. Perhaps it's at work, perhaps it's in a family scenario, perhaps let's say you got married and then your in-law all believe in one way and you believe in something differently. But with me, it was at this practice and I was the newbie, right? And so I have certain way that I do things, particularly when I do tests and this and that I perceive is safest. That these things are for the safety of the patient, for their best interest, and for the parents, the owners of the pet's best interest at the end of the day as well. And the all the senior doctor in the special in that hospital look at what I do and said, "Oh my God, you're just taking so much time. Oh, it's just so excessive. Oh, it's just too much." And I was even accused that I'm just doing that just to generate more income and this and that. And deep in my heart, I say, no, this is what has been taught by the school and this and that. And this is something that I could see why I'm doing, and I'm not doing that for my interest. It's actually take and it costing me a lot more work to be able to do this. And so just like, no, at the end of the day, they could express their opinion and they could say I'm this and I'm that, and and people could sneer at me in that hospital. But because every patient is the doctor's responsibility, it nobody could told me you cannot do this, even though the people who are the senior of many times try to talk me out of doing these certain things. And I stayed through and I stayed through. And in less than 2 years, one after another, things happen. And some of the senior doctors said, you know, these mishaps never happened with Dr. Tan. Never happened with Dr. Tan. And then they said, well, Dr. Tan did that things that way. And so the clients and the patients always happy. So, and it's fascinating. In less than 2 years, they stopped, not only they stopped telling me that to not do what it is and that I was malintending, I just want money or something. Slowly, one step at a time, the senior doctor slowly and step by step start doing what I was doing and still am. And so it was like, wow. And then much sooner than later, it become the department standard. They said, no, 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 we got to do this. If we're going to do that, we're going to do that. You're going to do that. And then before you know it, it's like, oh yeah, what's Dr. Tan doing? Let's just take a look what she's doing and let's follow her. Can you imagine that? Now, what would happen if you have not been a rock, your own rock? And that could be something at a workplace on doing something that you believe. It could be something different. I share about Napoleon Hill that I've been studying, that inspires this week's share. And with his son with no ears, he and his wife insisted that the son goes to a normal school. Can you imagine how much oppositions that he has to face for that? And so the third key in you transforming your uniqueness into something that is a true magnificent gift for you is to have unwavering faith, to you to be your own rock, like this rock here. Even though it got swept by the waves so many times, you staying true to what it is that you love, to what it is that you believe, to what it is that deep in your heart. It's true. Doesn't matter what the senior people say, doesn't matter what society say, doesn't matter what anybody in anywhere else is say. What does your heart say? What does your heart say? What does your heart say? And you want to stay true to that, to stay true to what it is that really, really calling you, what it is that you really, really, truly, truly love. Even if people are saying that, well, you know what, you are just this and you are just that, because as you might have heard, at the beginning, people called the Wright brother with the airplane, that calling them that they are, that they are crazy, that they are sinful, that they were going against God. That people told Marconi, the person who discovered radio system and everything, and his friend took him to mental institution because he said there is a way for us to be able to hear this. And the friend, his so-called friend, and took him to and call in the doctor and submit him to mental institution. Thank goodness these people stay true. What is calling you? What is in your heart? What's deep inside, that whatever that it is, that perhaps the uniqueness that you have, that whatever it is, that for people, that something that they laugh about. My accents, I shared with you my accents the other day. Even now, there are people who come to me and tell me, why don't you just why don't you learn accent reductions, accent reductions. And even though my accents, without them knowing, This is just people randomly and saying accent reaction, even though they didn't even know that me having some accents is definitely not hurting. If anything, it's kind of add to the fun a lot of the time when I do live speaking. And so, what is it that your uniqueness? Perhaps it is something like Les Brown being told that he was the dumb twin. Can you imagine you the dumb one? And that he used that as a fuel. He used that as a fuel. And in most amazing way that Les Brown is most successful than his other siblings. And so your uniqueness is definitely a gift. A gift if you actually stay true to it, embrace it as a gift, and have a burning desire to create it into a magnificent gift, and be willing to embrace changes, because for anybody, for us to go from the water to the paper, we have to have state change. And even as you go through the change, even as you have waves of lives washing and washing and washing over you, you stay true. You stay true. And if anything, just like a rock, if you ever seen a rock that's been washed over by water many, many times, you stay a rock, but you smoother and more beautiful in many cases, sometimes shaped by the water, but you stay a rock and smoother and just like a diamond. A diamond started out looking like a rock, and then it got not even just washed out, but actually wraps and cuts and wraps and cuts. But with all the rubbing and all the cutting in the rock, in the diamond rock, is so that it can bring out its brilliance. The diamond stay as a diamond. The diamond stay at its true core. And what's one thing, two things that you believe deep in your heart that it is absolutely you, that it is true to you, regardless of what anybody else. And perhaps it is even something that initially could be labeled as an adversity, a disadvantage. Perhaps, and even if you are facing many waves of lives, many cutting, many seemingly you being wrapped raw by life, perhaps it is to bring out the beauty, the gift, the brilliance diamond that's in you, hidden inside of that gift, that gift of uniqueness. And please share in the comment below if you ever have such an experience of you staying true with unwavering faith to what it is that you would really love to, or staying true in you, even regardless of what your uniqueness is. And it's actually as you stay true to yourself and be a rock of your own rock, that you over time to create something so beautiful for yourself and others. And perhaps share in the comment below if there is something that you would love to transform into a gift. Feel welcome to reach out to me if you would like my support, and I will be more than happy to allow you some complimentary support. And then feel welcome to share your feedback in the comment below, and feel welcome to share this video with anyone you'd love. And this is Bridget with From Grieving to Joyful Living. I love you very much, and I see that you are, as you stay as your rock, creating a beautiful, magnificent, awesome, beautiful life, thriving wonderfully one day at a time, and creating a beautiful, thriving life in a whole. And I look forward to see you again very, very soon.